Nobody wins when the family feels.
Foolish made this fool. Know that.
I'm on the road, I'm doing shows, and Jones caught my phone, he like that away, yeah. Won't sell my soul, it ain't too long till that money, I'll be speeding till my son, I'll be right back, yeah. I'm on the road, I'm doing shows, and Jones caught my phone, he like that away, yeah. Won't sell my soul, it ain't too long till that money, I'll be speeding till my son, I'll be right back, yeah.
Deputies have identified the victim of a deadly Robeson County shooting. According to the sheriff's office, it happened Tuesday night on Beam Road. Deputies say Tazari Butler died from gunshot wounds. They've identified persons of interest in the case. Anyone with information is asked to call the sheriff's office.
Sure. And then also, too, you grew up in a single-parent household.
Yeah.
Talk about that. You got brothers and sisters and stuff. Talk about that.
Yeah, I got 4 sisters. I got 3 brothers.
Oh, shit.
Y'all all came up in the same house?
Nah.
Okay.
Just my twin sisters and my little brother.
Okay.
My mama, she a strong woman.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'm here with the Family TV. Who do I have the pleasure of speaking with today?
Shayna Lowry.
Shayna Lowry. Just to confirm, Ms. Lowry, you are the mother of the North Carolina rapper Jaybo, also known as Tazari Butler.
Yes,
correct?
I am.
I appreciate you taking the time to speak with me today. So family, in today's video, we have the privilege to speak to a mother of a young man who was also a rapper who was unfortunately gunned down. Now it seems the suspect was someone he knew. Since then, it's been a lot of moving pieces, like the suspect side speaking up via Facebook, which we'll later discuss. But also, there seems to be a connection between the suspect in this case and the suspect for another case in 2022 in a shooting resulting in 2 people losing their life, including a teenager, which we'll later discuss. And also, the speculation on the connection between the suspect and the victim will be later confirmed in this video as well. And most of all, we have a 30-minute interview of the victim's mom. But first, remember family, I won't give you no angle, I just give you the story. So with that being said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And we're gonna jump right to it. Now when I first did this video a couple weeks ago, I briefly spoke to the victim's dad. Now you can check that out in the link in the description. Now there was a lot of uncertainty in that video, and the suspect wasn't arrested yet. That didn't come to 30+ days later. Family, meet Tazari Butler, aka Lord Jaybo. He's from an area called Lumberton, North Carolina. Now Tazari's rap stage name was Lord Jaybo. He have a number of songs with hundreds of thousands of views on YouTube. One was a track called Soldier Mentality with the Louisiana legend Boosie Bad.
I'm a soldier, I don't trust nobody, a nigga run up and don't put it on up. Got niggas ready for the slide, oh they got it fire, when we hit that corner. When we hit that corner, when we hit that corner, let's go.
You say you're a soldier, well I know I'm a soldier. Spin your block, little boy, it's over. We leave by this colder.
Another track was with the Memphis native CEO 30 called Gangsta Vibe.
Throw me some love, linked out to the club, he wanted some drugs, fuck it, so you know we put up. He a real nigga, I'm a real nigga, so we had to link up on.
But with so much potential, at just 20 years old, the last week of June, Tazari Butler, aka Lord Jaybo, would be gunned down. It was a Tuesday night. Deputies have responded to a shooting on June 27, 2023 at the 100 block of Bing Road just after 9 p.m. When deputies arrived on the scene, they found Tazari Butler deceased.
And deputies have identified the victim of a deadly Robeson County shooting. According to the sheriff's office, it happened Tuesday night on Beam Road. Deputies say Tazari Butler died from gunshot wounds. They've identified persons of interest in the case. Anyone with information is asked to call the sheriff's office.
31 days later, an arrest will come. 26 years old, Chamberlain Lee Oxydine, who was also considered to be Lord Jaybo's security. As you can see, he was arrested just yesterday and charged with first degree and 1 with the upcoming bond hearing this Friday.
Deputies say he was wanted for the murder of Tazari Butler. In June, deputies responded to reports of shots fired on Beam Road. Butler was found dead at the scene. Oxydine is now charged with murder. He's being held without bond.
Now, Cumberland is the older brother of another gentleman named Johnston Lockton. Now, he also was the prime suspect of a deadly shooting happened in March of 2022. 2 people were deceased, including a teenager, after a shooting at a birthday party. The 2 victims was later identified as 20-year-old Rondé Hunt, 15-year-old Hazachi Oxidine. May they both rest in peace. And the strange thing about the 15-year-old, he have the last name as the suspect in Tazari M1 case. The Robeson County Sheriff's Office said the incident happened shortly before 12:40 a.m. Sunday at the 1100 block of Jones Road in Pembroke. Deputies were first called to the area after reports that the two individuals that we just discussed had lost their life. The 20-year-old and 15-year-old were shot.
The name of the teenager shot and killed during a birthday party in Robeson County. The sheriff's office has identified that 15-year-old victim as Hazachi Oxendine. She was a student at Purnell Sweat High School, and deputies were called to the 1100 block of Jones Road in Pembroke around 12:40 yesterday morning. 20-year-old Randy Hunt was also killed during that shooting. This incident remains under investigation at this time, and they're asking anyone with information to call the number here on your screen. That is 910-671-3170.
The next day, Johnston Locktier was arrested, who is currently released on a $100,000 bond.
The Robeson County Sheriff's Office charged this man right here in connection with the deadly shooting. Joston Locklear faces 2 counts tonight of first-degree murder. The shooting in question happened early Sunday morning at a birthday party on Jones Road just east of Pembroke. Authorities say deputies found 20-year-old Randy Hunt dead, and that they also say that 15-year-old Hazachi Oxendine died at the hospital. The sheriff's office has not released any other information about the shooting, but we do know that Locklear's in jail tonight and he's held without bond.
Now in a year of some change, Johnston's bigger brother is now fighting the M1 case in regards to Lord Jaybo. Now Chamberlain went to Facebook and said the following message about Jaybo. He went off by saying, "Any son of a feels some type of way about me defending my life to make it back to my kids, F you and any son of that got something to say, and I don't give up who it is. I've never been no snake, always loyalty before anything, never crossed the MF. I said I love or put my life on the line, for ain't a muck soul can't say I didn't love that Lord like my brother. I put my life on the line too many times to count for that end. Showed him love till he tried to take my life. It's a F situation, but I'm a man before anything. I'ma stand on all 10. Try your luck if you want. I did the same thing any man would have done to make it back to my family. I'ma make it back to my baby, and that's a fact. I ain't Spanish if my life on the line. I kept my peace too long. All these threats on me and my family, I ain't taking lightly. I ain't looking for trouble, but if it comes to me, I'ma look it in the eyes and stand 10 toes. If it was me in that box, MFers would have given about me or my kids. MFers would have been running around talking about they smoking Chamberlain and put me in songs and shit. Ain't it got a damn soul was in my shoes. If that was my brother and he loved me the way I had love for him, then wouldn't have never tried me and take me from my kids. What was I supposed to do? And sit there and let it kill me? Nobody wants to accept the fact, since everybody cares so much. Why they didn't tell him to not to pull out a firearm on MFers he say he loved. The proof is in the pudding. The laws got camera footage and seen it was self-defense. So everybody keep that out their mouth and speak facts, not your feeling sobs. Need to join the police force since they want to do their job so bad. So as you can see, Chamberlain had a lot to say, but it didn't stop there. The brother's mom went to Facebook and vented out about the suspect, aka their kids, in the first place. Check it out. Apparently this lady thinks it's a joke. She went to Facebook and wrote, "I'm going to enlighten you people on this right here. I was there, and this young man told by my son's father over and over to leave, and he didn't. And when he was finally made to leave, he left and then came back. One thing I know, my sons, I will forever have their backs, regardless of anything or anyone. When it comes down to their lives or mine, God definitely got them. That's exactly why they're still here. You people lie, says connections, laughing emoji. With Bernice Wilkins, let me tell you something. My connection is with the Most High, not with law enforcement. If it was left up to the law enforcement, my sons would be dead or in prison. But nah, that's not my goals and destination for their lives. My sons will protect themselves with common sense. This boy was told over and over, and then you come back to start again? Call it what you want. Karambsby don't lie. There's a big consequence when you're hot-headed and think bees from Africa has you all prayed up and you can do what you want. But nah, not over here. I don't raise my boys to be dummies, and that's a fact. Now to the one who shared this post with these pictures, I'm gonna make you pay, sons. Big money for this. My lawyer and I don't pay him for nothing. Believe that. Self-defense is what it's called when you pull the gun to shoot not one but two people. God bless you people who wasn't there and knows nothing but you wanna say or no. Y'all better come harder than this, because I'm gonna make you drain them small bank accounts you got. Just like that, I pray you get to know my God, the one I serve with my heart and not my mouth, unlike a lot of you. Now as you can see, she had a lot to say in regards to the demise of Tazari and her sons being involved. I wanted to make sure I give you guys that information before we play this interview, just to make sure you guys see both sides. So without further ado, this is the mother of Lord Jaybo. I'm here with the Family TV. Who do I have the pleasure of speaking with today?
Shayna Lowry.
Shayla Lowry. And just to confirm, Ms. Lowry, you are the mother of the North Carolina rapper Jaybo, also known as Tazari Butler.
Yes,
correct?
I am.
I appreciate you taking the time to speak with me today. So we're just gonna get to it. Can you just tell me about a little bit of your son's aspirations as a rapper?
So my son, he was 10 years old when his life was unfortunately taken from him. And he was the first to do a lot of stuff from the town that we're from. We're from Lumberton, North Carolina. It is a small town, has a lot of talent, but nobody has really made it yet. My son had a hit single with Lil Boosie before he graduated high school. He's also done singles with Big 30. He has an unreleased song with Jaybo that we will be dropping sometime soon. He did a viral collaboration with the Yo Gotti's, the Dollar for Dollar Challenge. It went crazy.
Okay.
So his aspirations really was just to show small town kids that you can make it, you know. Right. And he wanted to give back. That was his biggest thing. In most of his songs, one of his hooks is, I'm gonna put my city on the map. Like, he was very important of making our city be known for something, for greatness, other than the biggest crime rate, you know, in North Carolina.
Okay, that's great. So how has the loss of your son impacted you and your family thus far?
Oh my God, like, who thinks they're gonna bury their child, you know, ever, but let alone so early in life? It is traumatic, you know. And I had my son at 16, so I'm a young mama. I'm only 36 years old. So most definitely did it was the worst thing in the world. I would have never imagined ever having to bury my child, go through what I'm going through, having to fight. And it's unfortunate. Like, the grief is unexplainable. It's just something I can't even put it into words. You know, he had a different relationship with me and with his dad. His dad was more of his homeboy, so his dad is grieving as well in a different way than me. You know, it has affected his entire family. It has affected his entire family, and it's unfortunate that at a time like this, in the midst of us trying to grieve, we have to go through so much. So, yeah.
Thank you for that. I can only imagine. Your son basically kind of grew up with you, huh?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
So.
But I'd do it all over again.
Right.
I'd do it the same way.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So what kind of person was your son, and how would you like him to be remembered?
He had the best heart you could think of. He was a giver. He was a person that wanted to see everybody make it. And I want him to be remembered for that. I want him to be remembered as a wonderful father, as a dedicated son, as a protector of his siblings, as somebody, like, I can't even say he was an inspiring rapper. Like, he was well on his way to be one of the greats. I remember telling him, like, you'll be one of the greatest of your craft of your time. You know, I saw that in him. His drive was something that was amazing. To know him was to love him.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So, just to get into it just a little bit more, right? Mm-hmm. You mind telling us about your son relationship and the suspect and the connection to the crime and how he lost his life?
Okay, so my son was murdered on June 27th at approximately 9:08 at 135 Beam Road in Lumberton, North Carolina. And he was murdered by Chamberlain Oxendine. I wouldn't even say allegedly, because Chamberlain admitted that he murdered him.
Okay.
So we're going to say murdered.
Right.
by Chamberlain Octanine confessing, saying that he murdered him. And he posted it on Facebook saying, you know, he murdered him, calling him niggas and SOBs. And it is unsettling how he did my child.
Where was you at when you got the call?
I was working.
Okay.
So can you just imagine that? Like you working, and I got a call from one of his friends. It was like, "Mom, they're saying Tazari's been shot." And I'm like, "My son?" And he was like, "Yes, ma'am." So where I was working at was only 30 minutes away from where they said he was shot at. I got on 95 and I was in traffic for 2 hours at a standstill. And so before I could even get there, I'm seeing on the news, we have a local news reporter.
Okay.
She's posting that there's one dead on the scene. So can you just imagine, like, ain't nobody called you to tell you, you ain't identified nobody, and you got a news reporter on the internet telling people that somebody is dead. And not only that, like, saying his name.
Wow. So before we go further into details of this unfortunate situation, I just want to ask, did you have the opportunity to look at the first video that I did in pertaining to Zari?
I did.
Okay. And you saw the brief conversation we had with his dad?
Absolutely.
Okay. So it was a lot of rumblings even within the comments that possibly you know the...
Yeah. So we knew him. He was my son's security. He was part of my son's security team.
Okay.
Someone that my son, like, he was at their house almost every day, hanging with him and his brother. My son really trusted both of them. And he just, you know, he was always over there. So it was somebody we knew. He's eating with my son and his dad. He's been out with us. He came to my house, had conversations. You know, so this was somebody that was very, very close to my son. It was not an enemy.
Okay. Okay, so everybody pretty much knew each other. Your son was comfortable with him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And it was a lot of speculation as well with the motive, right? It was things being said as possibly a Facebook picture of the suspect wife. Then it was said by a lot of people that it was possibly the wife, you know, having possible relationships allegedly with your son could be a possible motive. Is there any clearing up, or did you hear anything like that since?
So, you know, when people die, because it was so fresh when you talk to his dad, so many stories are coming around. So, you know, I wanted to get to the root of that because, again, it is important that people know my son for who he was. And a lot of those comments really got up under my skin, like, oh, he shouldn't have liked his homeboy wife picture. First of all, the only picture on her page my son ever liked was a Father's Day picture that she posted of her husband, and their 2 children, saying Happy Father's Day to her husband. So what was wrong with liking a picture of your friend and his family? Right. It had nothing to do with a picture of her. Honestly, she's not even my son's type. My son was handsome. Not saying anything about her, but I'm just saying it wasn't. He loved him. He would never go behind him. So that was an absolute lie. The truth is the guy was insecure about his wife, but it had nothing to do with my son being killed. But, you know, since we brought it up, he was insecure about his wife because he had just caught her cheating previously. So he was very insecure of her, but that was not the reason that he killed my son. My son was killed from the killer's mouth because he was fighting my son and his brother, as friends do, were joking and they got serious and they got into a physical altercation. That's where it came up. While my son was in the physical altercation, the killer went to my son's car and retrieved my son's weapon. In North Carolina, it is legal to have a weapon. The weapon was in my son's car. My son was not at the car. He was, you know, in their yard with them. So he made his business to go to my son's car, retrieve his weapon while his brother and my son was fighting. That's how that happened. It had nothing to do with a Facebook like or anything. That was just something that was made up. Later on, the killer himself, in the post that you'll put up later, said that was not the reason.
Okay. And so I just want to backtrack just a little bit. It was two things that I heard that I want to make sure that the following is caught up with it as well. You said that your son Juan possibly got into an altercation with the suspect and his brother. Is his brother the gentleman of Joston Locklear?
Absolutely, Joston Locklear is his brother.
Okay, which is also the same gentleman who was arrested March 15, 2022 in Robeson County for a birthday party shooting that left the life of a teenager deceased. Is that
absolutely? A teenager deceased, and he also killed a 20-year-old woman by the name of Randy Hunt. So 2 people were killed at that murder.
Okay. And so I'm guessing he's out on bond?
He is out on bond, something called pretrial release, which is very funny to me. First of all, let me just let the world know this murder happened in 2022 of this 15-year-old innocent boy, Hezekiah, and 20-year-old Randy Hunt. The only time that story was anywhere in any news, anywhere where you can search it, if you search the guy's name, Joston Locklear on Google, only that one article was made. And this was a double murder at a birthday party. It was never, no other information was made. This guy is still going to trial. No news coverage has done anything about it. I mean, it should have been big. It should have been known. The world should have known about this gentleman. And he is out on pretrial release. Now, I don't know. I'm not in the legal system, but I don't know anyone that is able to get on an ankle monitor after killing 2 people. Not only that, after he killed the 2 people, he was at the scene of my son's murder. And he had a weapon in his hand on camera, and they locked him up briefly, and the judge told them to release him on a technicality because he said they did not put in the paperwork that the suspect, Johnston, was not supposed to be around a gun. He killed 2 people, sir.
So he was at the scene when your son lost his life.
Absolutely.
Do you think he possibly had something to do with it?
I do. And that's one of my biggest issues, because if this judge would have done his job, unfortunately, and it's not bashing anybody, this is a fact, okay? Right. If that boy would have been locked up for killing these people until he faced a jury of his peers, like you're supposed to do in a two first-degree murders, then he would not have been there. Him and my son would not have gotten into the alleged altercation, and my son would still be alive. So absolutely, he should be charged for accessory. If he had something to do with it, he was there. And anybody that was there should be charged. The mom made a post and said she was there. The dad was there. The little brother was there. So why would my son, knowing these people, loving these people, go to the house by himself, leave his weapon in the car if he's going to cause trouble? That does not make any sense.
Right. And so, as we follow up on top of that, you said that the suspect got your son firearm allegedly out his vehicle.
Absolutely.
So he lost his life with his firearm?
The detective did not confirm that, and so I didn't want to get into that part. He threatening y'all's safety if he had no weapon.
Right. Correct. Okay. I just wanted to ask that. And so
absolutely.
I have a question, right? How do you feel about the suspect being charged with the crime? Do you have any thoughts or emotions regarding the ongoing legal process of it?
So this is my thing. Like, I appreciate the detectives for doing what they did, because at first this boy was so convinced that he was going to get away with it being self-defense. So I appreciate the detectives doing their job and researching, but it took 31 days. And in 31 days, my family has been threatened. We have been harassed. They have went to my son's grave and tore his grave up. His sister, Chrislyn, said that she was gonna spit on my son's grave. After we left court yesterday, it was the guy's first appearance. They had went and destroyed my son's grave. I'll get you those photos as well. So the sister in court blew a kiss at me. Y'all killed my child. The mother's making Facebook posts let me know that her sons are smart, that's why they're still alive, and my son is not. What mother says that to another mother?
Does she live? She live with her kids?
No, the children do not live with her. They live with their dad, and that's because she definitely was not the mother she should have been when they were growing up. And now she's trying to overcompensate. And I'm going to do anything I can for my kids. I'll pay whatever money for a lawyer. They're going to get bond. Ma'am, you're crippling them. You have 2 sons that have killed 3 people. What type of monsters do you have as sons? What type of monster are you to tell a grieving mother that her son is dead and yours are still alive? Who says that? I wouldn't, if the situation was turned around, I would never do that. If anything, I would apologize to her because she's a mother. And then she makes a post and says people don't feel her pain. Feel your pain? You see your sons. You talk to them. You hug them. You defend them. You hide them. I can't see my son ever again. I can't hug him ever again. What are you talking about, your pain?
Right. It's very unfortunate. And so, of course, by this point, the audience will get to see those Facebook posts before they even get to this part of the interview. And some very alarming quotes definitely in those posts. And just the next question I have, because I know how big your son was loved in his community. I know the things that he tried to do for his community. Just how has your community responded to your son's passing and the subsequent arrest of the suspect?
The love that I've received has been amazing. I couldn't ask for better support from everybody. I mean, my son was loved by so many. He played, before he was a rapper, he was a very, very good athlete. He played football and basketball and tore his ACL junior year. So the mayor has given my son a pen. The city councilman gave him a proclamation at his funeral for his help that he's done. It was over 1,200 people there. Wow. The love that we've received. I'm starting to Justice for Cesare Butler Foundation. People have been giving, all they can. They've been donating their time. Chamberlain Oxendine is trying to get a bond on next Friday. The 11th, he has a bond hearing, so we're trying to pack the courtroom out. We're trying to be outside peacefully protesting because this is about justice. This is not about vengeance. I want justice for my son. Right. I want the world to see these people for who they really are, murderers. And they feel like they can get away with it because they got away. Well, this guy is still going to court for the murders of the 2 kids, but he's out. So he's torturing that family. You know what I'm saying? So they think they can just keep doing this and torture a family and bully them into being quiet and allowing them to get away. Not this mama. Right. Not this mama.
That's good, because that's pretty much what I was going to ask. In the light of this tragic incident, do you have any message or advice for other families who may have experienced or may have been facing similar circumstances?
Fight for your family member. When they are gone, we are the only voice that we have. I know that we think the justice system is not fair. I know that we think that everybody is against us, and if it's not their family, they don't care. And that could be so. But if we don't come together as a people, if we don't come together united, this will continue to happen. We will continue to see stories about our children. We will continue to see mothers that receive no justice, fathers that receive no justice. We will continue to see children growing up without their dads. It's unfortunate. It cannot happen. We have to stand up as a people and do what's right. Fight against this system. Fight against the injustices, okay? We have to do that. And if I got to start it off by myself, then I will. But I have faith in God that the right people will come along and help with this fight. And we will together change the way the world looks at our children. Change the way murderers are treated. Murderers should not. If you have a first-degree murder charge, you should sit there until you are in front of a jury of your peers. It is not okay to get out and destroy the victim's grave and torture the victim's family. When does this stop?
Right. That was strong. That was powerful. I know that's going to resonate with a lot of people. Are there any initiatives or actions you would like to see taken against the gun violence in your community?
Absolutely. We're starting a petition. Like I said, the pretrial release program has so many flaws, obviously, and it's failing us. So unless they revisit the terms and conditions of the pretrial release program, I think it should be gone. You know, it's unfortunate that certain people really are guilty of crimes and they mess it up for people who really aren't. But at the end of the day, fair is fair. And it's not okay that these people can do whatever they want to do, and because they get the right judge, or they get a judge that just doesn't care enough to pay attention or want to say, well, this should have been said. Like, it's common sense. These people know what they're doing, and it's just not okay. So yes, I feel like I want to start some type of thing where we get rid of the pretrial system, and if we have to collectively, as parents, as members of the community, go back together and with the police or with the legislation who comes up with together, come up with a plan that will help families of the victims as well, because we are just as important as these people that are accused of killing our love.
Yeah, I know.
So that is my main thing that I want to do.
That's awesome. And I know that can get a little tricky because, like you mentioned before you made the last quote, you know, that sometimes that could be messing it up for certain people who, because it is a lot of people who are accused of wrong, false allegations, and, you know, it seems like nowadays you more or less guilty until proven innocent, you know, and it's just messed up because when you got somebody who are guilty and they admit to being guilty, and it affects not only the victim's family but people who were involved, and then you sit back and say, well, something is not right about this, and then it's like the most cliche quote, one bad apple can spoil the bunch, and that's pretty much the truth, you know. And it's just unfortunate you going through this.
Absolutely. And I just want it to be so much bigger. You know, people can say, oh, this is about, because like I said, I'm from a place called Lumberton, North Carolina. It is very big for Native Americans, Indians here or whatever. And these guys were Indian. I don't think it was about color. I think it was about hate. I think it definitely was a hate crime. You can see the way he was calling my son niggas. But I think this was so much bigger than the color of my son's skin. So I don't even want this, you know, Black Lives Matter is a very important movement, but this is bigger than this. This is parents who lost their children. Whether you lost your child because they were transgender, whether you lost your child because they didn't look the right way going to school and someone stole their shoes and shot them, whether your child was robbed, and to fix that. We have to, together collectively, we have to do something to fix that. If we don't, we are failing our children, our grandchildren, the next generation, and I refuse to do that. I lost my son, and it woke up a fight in me that I did not even know I had. I didn't want this fight, but I'm ready for it.
Understood. So just to, as we wrap it up, just to have a conclusion. Basically, because through the reports, it indicated your son lost his life in the morning, right? Around
it was 9 o'clock at night. Yeah.
Oh, 9 o'clock at night. Okay, so it was the afternoon. And from what you said in the reports, this is somebody that he knew, and apparently his security when he hit the road, allegedly.
Yeah, and my son was over there with them since 4 o'clock that afternoon. Like, I had their locations. So I checked his location earlier today. He was over there with them. So they were having fun at first. Of course, so it's way more than they're portraying it to be. You understand what I'm saying? And whatever was said in this argument that led to my son being murdered, it was uncalled for. It's no excuse to take someone's life. There's no excuse to brag about it.
Absolutely. So you kept saying he bragged about it. Is that the post that you saying he bragged?
Yeah, he even went to my son's grave and posted a picture on Snapchat. Of course, it's gone now. Took a picture in front of my son's grave and was like, "You was my little nigga."
Wow.
Like just he was at the Waffle House. I have a picture of him at the Waffle House, video camera of him talking to one of my sons. A woman who loved my son was there with one of my son's t-shirts. He was like, I like your picture. I like that picture. Unfortunately, he's not here no more.
Why you believe allegedly it might be his brother involved as well? Did you see any of this before this? Like, did you see any form of friction?
No, it's just my main question is, if I'm fighting you, if me and you are fighting, why would my sister that has nothing to do with it just come up and kill you? If my son was fighting his brother, why would the killer, the one who confessed to be the killer, kill my son. For what? That doesn't make sense. You're bigger than him. Your dad is bigger than him. It was 4 of y'all out there. My son is 151 pounds soaking wet. You can subdue him. My son was shot in his thigh. So that would have stopped him if you felt like he was a threat to you. It does not make any sense. I do think both of them had something to do with it. And I'm not going to stop until that's proven. Trust me, in time, they're going to keep bragging. They think they got away with it. Like I said, the guy just had a first appearance Friday. His family's already on Facebook bragging that he's going to get a bond. I want to stop him getting a bond Friday. Like, why are they so confident? Who are they talking to that are telling them they're going to get a bond for another first-degree murder charge? And what are the headlines going to say? 2 brothers allegedly killed 3 people in 1 year, and they're both out on bond. That doesn't make any sense. What bail bondsman would do that? And the thing is, the brother that killed the people at the birthday party, his brother that killed my son is on his bond. He signed his bond. So why isn't the bond revoked? Because how is he going to make sure his brother goes to court if he's locked up himself for murder? Like, what is going on? What type of system is this? It's failing us, and it needs to stop. And this is bigger. It has to get around the world for it to stop. Something needs to be done.
Absolutely. And as far as the true motive, you really don't know.
No, I can't.
It's unfortunate. What our authorities are letting you know, as far as what you can speak on, if you don't mind me asking?
So, like I said, the detectives are thoroughly doing their job as much as they can. The killer said something about a video. He knew that video wasn't going to help one way or the other. That's why he said that. These people do they sell drugs at the house? So you can already know that they would not just hand over some video evidence without it being tampered with. That's common sense. But he tells people, like, I have ties to people y'all don't know about. I'm not going to stay locked up. At first, he said he wasn't going to be charged. The sheriff had a statement. I sent that to you. And he was pretty much saying, well, if he gets bond, it has nothing to do with us. It's on the judicial system. So, to be honest, like, I'm confused on why they're so confident. Like I said, we don't go to court until next Friday. So, why are they so confident this guy's going to get a bond? And who's going to stop it? Who's going to be the one to say, okay, y'all can't keep doing this. We're going to do this the right way. We're going to get justice. We're going to allow you to be in front of a jury of your peers. But like I said, he said he killed him. So I don't understand what we're even arguing about. He said he killed him.
But from what I'm saying, he's saying that it's self-defense. Do you know why is he saying it's self-defense?
Because my son was at their house. I mean, and somebody probably told him that's what he should say. But trust me, it was not. If it was self-defense, why does he have a first-degree murder charge? And where was the gun at that he was so alleged that he was feared for his life? It's protocols. You could have went in your house and called the police if you felt threatened. Y'all could have subdued him if you felt threatened. You could have shot him in that thigh and stopped him and called the police if you felt threatened. You don't shoot someone repeatedly in a self-defense. You don't continue to shoot and laugh about it and look someone in their eyes and say, I looked him in his eyes when he was dying. That's not self-defense. And when they see his Facebook post, you will see there's no remorse in that. If you say if I loved you and I had to kill you because I felt like you were going to hurt me first, I would still feel bad about it because I loved you. That doesn't change my love for you. This was hate. This was hate. This was jealousy. This was brewing up. He wanted to be who my son was. And I say this now, even in this, the only reason his name is relevant is because he's the person that murdered my son. The only time you Google his name, Chamberlain Oxenden, is because of the murder of my son. But you can Google Tazari Butler back from when he was in the 8th grade, making moves and being positive. When he was getting recognition from the mayor, when he was speaking to the children. My son did impactful stuff in this community, and he did not deserve to be murdered.
Right. Do you know if they made it outside the house before the altercation happened?
They were always outside. They never were inside the house.
So now it makes sense about the vehicle. Okay.
It was never in the house. So, if you feel threatened, you retreat into your house. I was a 911 dispatcher. It's common sense. This was no way. It's no way they'll be able to prove this was self-defense. This wasn't self-defense. This was hate. This was hate, and that was the right time to do it. That's it. And somebody promised them, I don't know who, promised them that this is how they were going to get away, but not this time. They would not get away with this.
Okay. So you don't, as of now, you don't know if the alleged wife has something to do with this, do you? It's because that's a huge speculation. But
I know it has nothing to do with her, because I mean, even in the husband's post, he said, "I would never fall out about a," you know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with her. It was just, like I said, speculations or whatever, and people want to get together and put stuff together and make people feel vindicated. It had nothing to do with her.
Gotcha.
It had nothing to do with her. This was her husband and his brother, and hatred and jealousy that just grew up. And my son loved him so much, he just couldn't see what was right before his eyes. And that was his biggest flaw, his heart. His heart and the way he loved people is what got him killed, and that's unfortunate. Because now I got to teach my other son and my grandson to watch everybody. Now you got to look at everybody because you can't trust them. And it's sad that we got to teach our children that you can't even trust the people you love. That's unfortunate. Hate is powerful. Well, my son knew church. He loved God. And the God that I served, my son had time to get anything right he needed to. He was over there with friends. He wasn't over there, like I said, you know, people say, well, why was he over there then if it was a drug house? So that means they should have killed him. You understand what I'm saying? He was a part of his security team. So why not go over there and chop it up about this next big move that they had in the next week to do? Why not go over there and hang out with your friends? He had nothing to do with what they did, what they were doing to get money. That's their business, how they feed their children. The fact of the matter is, he did not deserve to die.
Absolutely.
Nobody deserves to take anybody's life.
Absolutely.
You can't give an excuse for that. If you do, you're just as guilty as the person that did it.
Basically, he was gunned down by his own security, someone he pretty much trusted.
The person that's supposed to protect him. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Man, I greatly appreciate you taking the time to speak with me and sharing your son's story. It's greatly appreciated. I hope I'll be able to execute this into your liking. With that being, for the conclusion of this interview, and I just want to thank you once again. But there you have it, family. That was Lord Jaybo mom, aka Tazari. As it was mentioned, the suspect have a bond hearing this upcoming Friday. I'll keep you guys updated. But that was the story of a young man from Lumberton, North Carolina, who was gunned down by his security. Let me know how you guys feel about this one in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We do want to say, once again, rest in peace to Lord Jaybo, and love and condolences to his family. I'll see you guys on the next one.